Good evening, everyone. Appreciate everyone logging on. And as we continue to have folks log on, welcome. Thank you for taking time out to our Populous Company meeting. The purpose of this meeting is to get everybody up to speed, rowing in the same direction, and just take a minute and celebrate who we are. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items to go over. First, this call is being recorded for repeat viewing. Please show your video if possible. We love seeing you. If you are working on site, you can stay clocked in at your site. If you are not clocked in, you can go ahead and clock in under eHub job number 9 to be paid for the meeting. Please mute your microphone unless speaking to the group to help with background noise. Your first and last name need to be displayed during the meeting to be eligible for the drawing at the end of the call. You must be present at the end of the call to be eligible for any incentives given away. And lastly, if managers, as Steve just said, if any managers have groups of employees listening to the meeting, they can list their employees' first and last names in the chat for them to be eligible during the drawing. And now I'd like to turn the mic over to Steve Hamill for a family populist moment.
Hello, everyone. Steve Hamill, Director of Operations here at Populist. And we're so glad you are here and joining us for this good call. We run on EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System, and part of that is opening up with a segue at all of our meetings. And so we love to do that here with this meeting as well. And we've gotten large enough that we need to collect your good personal and professional bests over the past quarter ahead of time. I do want to invite, though, before I move to our different branches, I'd like to invite those that are considered our corporate staff at the office, those that may be on the JSP team out of IFSI, and for our ARIA team, which is our window blind division. If you want to share, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity near the end if you want to share something. I don't think we collected that ahead of time. So if you could prepare for that, we'd love to hear from you as well. Those from the leadership team and those in the office, all that kind of good stuff. So, I'd like to go through and begin to introduce some of our branches. We have 4 different branches here at Populist: Ypsilanti, down in Toledo. We've got our Southfield office and now our newer Lansing branch. And so we're going to go through and hear from the company through our branch managers. And I'd like to start with Toledo, Andy Tata, who is our branch manager leading the forces down south.
Thank you, Steve. Hey, I'd like to share a couple things. We've super excited. James, I think he's actually on the call too. Just adopted a beautiful baby girl who was just born here on Sunday. So congratulations to him and his family on that long journey that's gone that way. On the swing of that, we have Shauna just came back from vacation in Tennessee and had a wonderful time down there. Excuse me. Our own Laura here has her husband back at home. God bless for that. Let's see. Virginia is super excited to be looking for a house still to this day. Hopefully she finds it coming up soon. Cody is super excited to have Jessica back at PGT4. Switched over from Dana, so really happy to have her there. And thank you, Jessica, for your support and doing that for the team.
Yes.
And I had one more from Jabez, who's one of our youngest guys. I think we're his first job, and he's been doing a wonderful job for us. So super excited to have him on the team. I want to shout out for all his great work he's doing. So thank you for that, Steve. Those are the ones that got into me. And for those that didn't shoot one over, next time, please send them and I'll read them. Appreciate everything everybody's doing down here in Toledo. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah. Thank you, Andy. Let's hear from Dana Cup out in the Southfield branch. Dana, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, hello everyone. So we got some personal and professional bests from. We'll begin with a few from FH1, which Richard Jones is the account manager. We've got Jed Wiga, who has been working at Dana Corporation Plant 2, will be welcoming a grandbaby in just a few weeks. So
Oh, wow.
congratulations, Chadwick. And professionally, she's very excited to start our brand new account that will be beginning this coming Monday in Auburn Hills, Samsung. I know she'll do fine there. Also from FH1, we have Tandra Tolles. Her personal best is I worked extra hours and got extra money. And her professional best is I was training Elena Murick at TDM. And when I trained her, I knew she was ready to work and confident that she could get it done. And she did just that. So great job, Tandra. And then
Awesome.
Lastly from FH1, Clinton. Clinton's personal best. He's been 1 year practicing Tai Chi and yoga and is now a certified intermediate practitioner. Congratulations, Clinton, on that. Professional
Interesting.
best, he's been doing additional cleaning and mopping for removal of salt at many locations.
Well, that's a problem today. And that,
Yeah. FH2, real quick, we've got Alexandria. She's an account assistant. Crystal Bryan is the account manager for FH2. Her personal best, she really enjoyed at Christmas to go out of state and spend vacation and Christmas with her family. Professional best, she trained some very good new professionals recently. We have Tim, our account assistant from the Evolution CNS Casino. Personal best, he and his wife are getting ready to go to the Bahamas for 6 days. Professional best, I'm thankful to Populous for the opportunity to work with the company. And lastly, Cavi Pittman from the Southfield Christian Schools, commercial professional cleaner, is her personal best is I like my coworkers. Her professional best, I feel like me and my coworkers work very well together, and my boss is very responsible and responsive. Crystal, how much did you get for that? And that takes Southfield branch, Steve. Thank you. Thank you all for being on this call.
yeah, very good. Thank you, Dana. Andrew Waldecker out in Lansing. Any shout outs from the Lansing?
How's everybody doing tonight? Holly's thankful she's made her 90 days. Her personal is after having 7 years of guardianship of her 2 youngest grandchildren. They're back with their mom and they're planning on moving to Washington this summer. Maddie is day porter with us. Her personal is that she is surrounded by those who appreciate her, the effort that she puts into the building every day. Her personal, she was able to celebrate 7-year anniversary with her fiance in Chicago. Michelle, she works a number of different buildings for us. She comes in and gives it 100%, 110% every day. Her personal is she hand builds doll houses. Sarah's one of our other day porters that is outstanding rock star during the day. Professional. She likes to come to work every day and she appreciates all of her coworkers. Personal. Jesus is your savior. Tresca is done an outstanding job with helping to keep the day shift running and all the setups going. She loves the environment at Jackson. She loves being around Lori and I. We're great mentors other than Dana. She's very thankful for her 3 sons. Jay is one of our setup guys that does all the setups at Jackson in the conference rooms, and he's thankful for everything that is happening for him and his children.
Good. Is that everything, Andrew?
That is it.
Great. Thank you for sharing from your area. And last but not least, we have Ashley McCarver, branch manager over the Ypsilanti branch, otherwise known as Maine. Ashley?
Hi, everybody. So we've got Christian, who went to Vegas and did pretty good at the craps tables, which sounds exciting. Jonathan, his dog had surgery and is recovering well. Rosa, finally all unpacked from moving. It'd be such a chore. Maya, in about a month, she will be moving in her very first apartment. Annie B, celebrating 31 years at her day job.
Wow.
So exciting.
Great.
Brianna, starting school in the spring. Alyssa is doing a good job of figuring out adulting on her own. Definitely a challenge at times. Don did replace his leaking hot water heater. Nicole planning on adopting a puppy. We'll see how that's going in the next quarterly call. Paul, his oldest granddaughter got accepted into college with a full ride. Latoya, student loans are almost paid off. We've got Danielle, who finished 3 books this year already. And
In 2026?
That's a good clarifying question, Steve. That would be pretty impressive.
Good.
I'll have to report back on that. Kimura, she is showing up for work each day, ready and eager to build those quality relationships with the customer by being professional, accountable, and working hard. Doing a great job, Kimura. We appreciate you. Isaac got his car fixed, super helpful, and his building actually switched to a more standard soap and hand sanitizer, which I can attest has been a painful process. So we're happy to have gotten that done. Tim Wright is excited that he's been able to keep his building as long as he's had it, and he's enjoying the flexibility Populous provides. Kaylin is excited for her new niece that will be coming in a few months, and she continues to enjoy growing in her role with us as an account assistant, and she is very grateful for her team. Then we've got Juan, who is just super excited to have started this position and gain experience and knowledge in his position.
Awesome. Is that everything, Ashley?
That's everything.
Great. So I want to bring out the opportunity again for our corporate staff and leadership team to share as well. Make sure you unmute yourself and let's hear your personal and professional best over the past quarter. Is somebody there? I gave you guys opportunity to think about it. Come on, jump in here.
Steve, I can go.
Thank you, Matt.
Professionally, we have successfully onboarded and it's a pleasure to have Stacy, our new office manager, in his role. He's doing a great job. So we really appreciate everything he's doing.
Yeah, awesome. Someone else. I had the good opportunity over Christmas here to visit all 3 of my kids that are living far away, and got to see my 1-year-old grandson. That was super fun. Babysit him for a couple days. So great times. Good times. Anyone else?
I can share. So at the Ypsi branch, we started a few new accounts recently. So that's been good for us. It's been we've seen a lot of growth in the company, so we're happy to contribute to that too.
Yeah, awesome. All right, one last chance. Anybody from maybe the ARIA, JSP, or corporate office would like to share personal professional best? These have all been so good. All right, I mentioned as we started the call today that we run on EOS, and we're going to take just a moment to talk about another facet of the EOS meeting. So if you look at the agenda that's on the screen here, an L10 meeting is somewhat of the heart of EOS, which is called a level 10 meeting because at the end, everybody has to give a rating 1 to 10 of how well the meeting went. And, many who sit underneath my meeting often get questioned as to their scores. I appreciate you guys bearing with me on that. I'm always trying to think through our meetings and how to make them better. But these are some of the elements of that L10 meeting. And one of those has to do with headlines. So if you look down at the oranged area, it says customer employee headlines. So every meeting, we have this section where we share from our part of the business, what's happening. If you look at the very top here, it mentions, share any employee or customer news. It could be good or bad. And we celebrate good news and drop down any bad news for later discussion, or anything that, takes further to discuss something. We would drop that down to the issues section, which is, as you see in the list of the agenda, the largest part of the meeting, where, we get to really kind of interact on a particular topic. But the headlines are important. And in our system that we use, which is called the 90, it's a computer organizational system for us. We can put headlines over all of the meetings of the company. So, from every branch area to corporate to finance, HR, operations, we can send off great news that goes company wide. And so it's really been a great system for us to communicate and keep in touch with each other. And a great part of the meeting, just to hear what's going on. And it does give us a moment to step back and be able to express our gratitude, and also even at times our bad news. And we can carry the weight together as a team. So interesting part of the regular L10 meeting that we have, weekly or monthly as it may be, but an important part of that meeting. So I want to pass the mic over to Mike, the president of the company, as we have opportunity to introduce some folks.
Thanks, Steve. Before we move forward with my little blurb here, my segment, I want to introduce a couple of people that I invited to come onto the call. So I see Andre Hatter. Andre is a friend of mine, owns a janitorial business. So we're not only competitors, but we're friends in the same industry. Andre, we meet oftentimes for lunch or for breakfast, and so I just asked him to come on the call, kind of get an inside look at what we're all about. Andre, you want to say a couple words for a second? No, you're there. I saw you, Andre.
You're muted.
How's that?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, thank you. I want to thank you guys for allowing me to see the insights of a successful company. Mike is a great guy. He talks so highly of his team. I'm also I've heard a lot about the two Steves from Train You, Clean Train You. So the HR guy, that's a Steve, and also the Steve. I don't know your last name. It's but you're the guy that runs everything. They always
That's a great title.
yeah, is it Hamlin or something like that, right?
Hamill, yeah.
Hamill.
Nice to meet you, Andre. Yeah, nice to meet you.
But I want to thank you guys for inviting me, Mike. I appreciate it, and you guys are phenomenal.
Thank you, Andre. It's a pleasure having you on the call. One other friend of mine, also an owner of another janitorial business here in the Metro Detroit area, Maggie Forsyth. Maggie, are you on the call? Wasn't sure if I saw her or not, or whether she could make it, but I didn't see her name in there, but that doesn't mean anything. Sometimes these phones use different names. Maggie? Are you muted, Maggie? Probably not, hey? Going once, twice. All right, let's move on. All right, I was asked to talk about why we stand out as a company. So as I've been thinking about that the last few days, what is it that makes us different than the next company? Why would any of you or anybody else want to come to work for Populous versus some other cleaning company? And as I was thinking about that in the last couple of days, I thought, well, let's take a minute and talk about how we try to treat our people around here. And when we say employee focus, we certainly don't mean that, we've got all this figured out as we talk through this, because we don't have it all figured out. It's something that we're always working on, and that's part of having a humble heart, being willing to listen, to learn, to be corrected where we need to be corrected, and to keep trying to do things better. And, you know, when from the time an employee joins our team, we try to make sure that they're trained up and we don't just throw them into a job site and say, figure it out on your own. You know, and as they get settled into the job site, we try to check in. We look at the work, we give feedback. We're not giving feedback to nitpick, but we're trying to help people do a good job. And we also want to know that they have the tools that they need to have in order to do a good job. We also try to notice people as people. And this really relates to the root of our name, Populist, the root of that name being people. And so that's why we want to notice people as people. And that's, you know, why we call out work anniversaries or birthdays. When someone's doing a really well at something, or someone we notice lives out a core value. Sometimes that'll appear in a shout out. Sometimes it's on this call. Sometimes it's a video that you'll get dropped into your phone from Steve Amayo. We've all been there, right? Sometimes it's something in a newsletter, or sometimes it's just someone saying thank you for what you're doing. As I said, we don't always get this right, and there's plenty that we can improve on. But the goal really is simple here. That is to show respect for the work and the people doing it. And we're committed to keeping at that. And that's our unwavering commitment to all of you guys here on the call and the people that aren't able to make the call tonight. It's not that we're going to be perfect at all, but we want to stay focused on our people as we grow. I also want to touch briefly on why we stand out to the customers and the experience that they have with Populist. And it's not to pat ourselves on the back, because what really is going on here is the customer experience is directly connected to the work that we do every single day. What our customers notice, it's not our logo or our sales pitch. They notice when people show up on time, in the right uniform, neat and clean and presentable. They notice when our people know the building. They notice when the work is getting done right day after day. They notice when the same people are there day after day and when the work is consistent. And most of all, they notice when something goes sideways or something unexpected comes up. They notice whether or not we've handled it in the right way. And that's really absolute professionalism. It's not about being perfect, okay? It's about taking the work seriously. It's about treating the customer and their space with respect. It starts with how we train and how we support our team and how that work gets done every day. And when we say focus on employees and we say deliver a customer experience, those things are not separate. The customer experience comes directly from how we show up and how we carry ourselves each and every day. That professionalism is served up by all of us, and it's what keeps the customers with us. And that's what helps keep the company strong. So that's pretty much it. Those are my thoughts. I want to say thank you very much to all of you here on the call for being on the call. And thank you for all your work that you do in the field. With that, I'm going to hand it back over to Steve.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Mike. Just a great reminder that, you know, we don't always get it right, but these are the things we're striving for, and I appreciate those good words. So we're going to a team member spotlight. I'd like to introduce Lori Janikowski, our account manager specialist, been with us for many years, working out in East Lansing with our new startup out there. Lori, and I know James is on the call. Great to go over this spotlight.
Yeah, I'm here. I just like to say that before James is one of the outstanding workers we have here. Every core value applies to him. Couldn't ask for a better guy. So James, what's your favorite food?
Fresh toast with peanut butter.
Yeah.
You like those together or separate?
Together.
together.
All right.
French
Nice.
toast, put the peanut butter on it, then a little bit of syrup with the sugar free. You know, I've been trying to cut out the sugars as much as possible. You know,
Dinner time.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Interesting.
Hi. What's your favorite movie?
anything with Dragon Ball Z, any Dragon Ball Z movie, any Dragon Ball series, anything Dragon Ball.
And then, what do you like to do on your free time?
Chill at home, my family, my wife. We just got married in August, so you know, chill at home with her.
That's
Our anniversary is coming up on the 14th, so it's coming up pretty quickly. So 14 years.
Nice. Hi, James. And what's something unique about you that most people would not guess? And I did not know this till James told me one day.
I got a YouTube channel for my workouts. I've been a real big thing on my probably the last year. I've been doing workouts, working out and stuff like that, trying to get fit. You know, getting older, so I'm trying to stay in shape and not be old man trying to get off the couch.
Perfect.
You're in the right industry, man.
Yeah, we keep you moving.
I know I do.
And then, what is your favorite core value and why?
Unwavering commitment, because I just try to make sure everything's good around here. You know, trying to make sure everything's clean, make sure everything gets done right. You know, because especially right now, like everybody said, there's a lot of salt around here, so it's a lot of work right now between the stairs and carpet and everything else, cubicles, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'd just
Very
like to add in there too, like the hardest person on James is James himself. If you guys worked with him, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, James, for all you do.
thank you, appreciate you.
Very good. Thank you, Lori and James. Just a great snippet of a newer team member, but a great one that's helped us get that great project off the ground. Thank you. We're moving on another focus on our employees, milestone anniversaries. Matt, you want to start us off?
Yeah, thanks, Steve. So Beverly's celebrating 15 years with us. It's a long time. So it's an incredible milestone, and it's a true reflection of her dedication throughout the years. She started with us as an office manager, part-time, I believe, and has grown through many roles, stepping in wherever she's been needed. And in the past few years, she served in a full-time finance role for us. She's somebody I rely on daily, and I know a lot of you guys rely on her as well. She doesn't just take care of the numbers for us. She knows the story behind the numbers. She's been with us for a very long time. She's a champion for our core values. She embodies what it means to have a humble heart and unwavering commitment. She has a genuine willingness to show up and do what's asked of her, no matter what it takes. She's a true part of the fabric of Populous Cleaning, and we are super appreciative of the 15 years she's given us, and we're looking forward to many more.
You're not going anywhere, Bev.
Yep.
I'm not planning on it.
Yeah. Yeah, Beverly, we oftentimes blur the lines of your current job just because you've been here so long. We go to you for just about everything. Very good.
Territory.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. All right. We've got Randy and Ashley.
Yes. So for those of you who may not know Randy, he serves as the janitorial special projects supervisor for Populist. And for the past 10 years, what that means is Randy and his team have been supporting our customers and your job sites by handling special requests such as carpet cleaning, floor refinishing, and everything in between that they do. I truly appreciate Randy for the wisdom, the heart, and the dedication that he brings to our team each day. 10 years of service is an incredible milestone, and it just speaks volumes about his commitment and the impact he has made. So thank you, Randy, for the many ways you've made a difference over the years and for helping make life better for our customers and Populist.
Thank you, Randy.
Yeah, very good. Congratulations. And then we have Garrett Jones, and this is coming out of our FH branch with Crystal.
Hello. Garrett has been with us 10 years.
He is very committed and take pride in his work. I can depend on him to show up every day, no matter the weather. Very grateful to have Garrett a part of the team.
Yeah, it means a lot in
Thank you,
our day,
Gary.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome, you guys.
Outstanding.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Garrett.
Yep.
Yeah. Great work
Pretty big.
out there.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you, everyone.
up in the Brighton area. Is that right, Garrett?
How now, but Brighton.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
first.
how now? Yeah, how now?
Oh, how? Okay. Yeah.
And how
Excellent.
now?
Yeah, very good. Well, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for your good work.
And I'm living on my own now with my
Awesome.
twin brother.
Wow. Yeah, great progress. Outstanding.
Yep. Thank you.
Very good. Well, also continuing our employee focus out at the FH branch, Crystal, introduce for us Scott.
Okay, so Scott is in our Wixom area. I selected Scott because his dedication. He shows up every day with a positive attitude. He is a hard worker. Scott demonstrates a humble heart, and that means a lot to me. I know I can always count on Scott. So thank you, Scott, for that. Scott has been with Populous going on 2 years now. Scott, you on the call?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so what is your favorite food?
Pizza.
Can't go wrong there.
What is your favorite movie?
Pulp Fiction.
Okay. What is something unique about you that most people would not guess?
That I collect coins.
Perfect.
Collect coins for the coins or for the precious metal value of the coin?
Mostly for the coins, but I have some of both.
Yeah. Yeah, very
Perfect.
good.
What is your favorite core value and why?
I'd say absolute professionalism, because if you're not professional, then if you can't do our job properly, and then it just looks bad for everyone involved, us and the company.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, outstanding. Well, as we get to different aspects of our company and what's happened over the past 90 days, we've been able to add 42 new team members in the last 90 days. So welcome. Some of you are on the call, and we are grateful for that. We currently have 228 employees. So that number has fluctuated a little bit for us in the last quarter. We've had some great new starts in the last 90 days. So we've got TDM, which is what Ashley was referencing, as well as another one in Ypsi is EOTech. So EOTech has a warehouse that just started. Is that this week, Ashley? Is that right? And
Yep, that's right.
yeah, and so that's actually a branch off of a current customer. So it's kind of neat to have expanded with them to another area of service. And then also Dana, I don't know, FH out in Auburn Hills had also referenced a new start that's this coming Monday, the 9th, which is Samsung building up there. So we're excited about that start and those that are supporting that. And we've even got some other branches that are helping out with that. We've got, I guess the word is the bigwig from Samsung overseas is coming to visit the day of our start, and they won't let us come in early. So you know how those go. We're a bit concerned about what his experience will be. And our name is going to be on the cleaning as of Monday, right? The 9th. So thank you for everybody who's planning to come out and help support us on that first day, just to give it a little extra work and a little extra support for that good start. So great to see us expanding and growing in these ways. And so just excited to share that. We also wanted to share just some internal promotions. So one of the things that we really want to see happen is, folks be able to grow within. If that's your desire, folks are here for all different reasons. Some have come to, as Lori did, 10 years ago to pay off a driveway. And now she's been with us, left her other job and has been with us 10 years working as an account manager specialist, and just love the stories. But maybe you're here supplementing income. Maybe this is your full-time job of support. But we love for opportunities for internal growth. And so mentioned here, also up on our screen out here in Toledo in the last, actually there's 3 that we're recognizing. 2 of those in operations. So Hannah was promoted to lead at the First Solar Warehouse. Hannah heard such great things about your work and what you're doing out there. And so congratulations. That is a long time coming, by the way, folks. We have been looking to fill that position with the right person for over a year. And so that's just a tremendous achievement. Thank you for that. And then Holly has been promoted to account site lead at PGT2, one of our First Solar accounts down in Toledo. Again, congratulations, Holly. Welcome. And we're so glad for you guys and being able to move into these roles and take on these internal promotions. And then Mike, I wanted to pass the mic to you.
Shirt.
What's that? What was? Oh, okay. Someone lost their mic there. I wanted to pass it over to Mike about Matt Eller.
Thanks, Steve. So we've got a change happening in leadership, and I want to be really clear about what that means for everybody on the call here. First, the most important thing is nothing about your job or your schedule or who you report to is changing because of this. Just as we've grown, my job over the years has kind of been split into 2 parts. One part, thinking about where the company is going long term, our future, customers, growth. The other part has been making sure sort of all the moving parts of the business day to day are working smoothly. But, as we've gotten larger, it's become clear that in order to support the company as we continue to grow, it's time for me to focus more on that long-term direction and for someone to take the helm and fully focus on the day-to-day oversight of the operations of Populous. That person is Matt, and some of you know him. Matt's been with the company for many years. He's worked in the field. He's cleaned buildings at night. He's cleaned carpet. He's strip and waxed floors. And over the last few years, he has led the finance and admin team. He understands our business and our people, and he understands what it takes to get it done every day. I've got a lot of trust and confidence in Matt and the way he leads and problem solves. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here as president, focusing on the growth of the company, here to protect the values, make sure that this is a place that we're all proud to work at. Matt and I are very much fully aligned on the direction of the company, and I just want to take a minute to introduce him. I've asked him to share a couple words. Matt?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. So for those of you that don't know me, as Mike mentioned, I've grown up around the business. I've done a lot of the same work that many of you guys are doing in the field. I know that the work that we do is not easy. I have a lot of respect for what it takes for all of you to show up every day and get it done. So in the new role for me, my focus will be on supporting our teams, helping the company run as smoothly as possible so that the teams can focus on the work. So I just want to end by saying I appreciate all the work that you guys do. I'm looking forward to continuing to work together to continue to drive Populous forward. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, very good. I mean, that's not fully true, Mike, because I have a new boss. I'm answering the Matt, which is great. And I'm happy to. So very excited about Matt's promotion, and we're going to be better for it as a company, no question, in my mind. So very good news. So I'm gonna try to get excited because we are going to talk about SDSs. Come on now. When it comes to chemicals that we work with every day, SDSs are important. And so we're going to talk here about the safety moment, and it's SDSs. So listen, everybody uses eHub in operations, and in eHub, there is a link. And so I know this picture is a little bit hard to see, but this is available also in your eHub. Your onboarding orientation has this slide. And on the far right there, it mentions links. At the very bottom, it shows you there are SDSs. And so this is a website link that you can go to, and it'll pull up everything that you're using, assuming that you're using a Populous chemical. and you have the name of that chemical and a special document, which is called SDS, right? Safety data sheets. Safety data sheets. Used to be MSDS. Now they call it SDSs. And I want to just take a few moments to talk about the importance of those sheets. They're available to everybody, right? So if you ever have something happen or you have a reaction or you're just curious about what you're cleaning with and what you're working with, you can always go to this and take a look at it. So I want to talk about a few key points about SDSs. And so I'm not going to pull one up for you because that would be super confusing. But there are some important points to talk about when it comes to the SDSs. So the SDSs are broken down by sections, and they all have to have so many sections. I think it's 9 altogether. I'm going to point out a couple of important sections in that. And so I think there is another slide for us. Yeah, here it is. Very good. So number one, hazard identification. So we just had a hazard training that went out. And in that, there are pictograms and specific hazards that are addressed in the SDSs, which tell you, hey, listen, if this has this symbol or it says this, it's a particularly important. So some of those could be a corrosive, an irritant, something that is flammable or it's toxic. And main risks are burns, eye damage, and breathing irritation. So that's why those symbols and these identifications are important, because they can impact your lungs, they can impact your eyes, they can impact your skin when it comes to burns. And, we never want to mix, our chemicals with other chemicals. As a reminder, you also don't want to bring in your own chemicals. We'll provide it for you, save your money. And we'll give you the chemical, and it's a really important because we may not have the SDS of the particular chemical you bring on site. So if something happens, we have no reference to go to for that safety. Number two, and by the way, that hazard identification is in section 2, as it says there on the screen. Section 4 is first aid measures. So and every chemical has a section that tells you what to do for first aid in particular. So it mentions, if you get this in your eyes, you need to flush it with water. It could be skin, means you rinse it or remove the contaminated clothing, make sure that kind of stuff. Breathing vapors, move to fresh air, right? So if you have something, you feel the irritant, go to fresh air. Mentions here about, if you swallow it, do not induce vomiting unless instructed. Those kind of instructions would be in this section, section number 4. Looking at number 3, safe handling and storage. So in the SDS section 7, it really addresses where these should be stored and how you should handle it. And so in this case, it mentions, again, never mixing chemicals, for instance, bleach and ammonia. You know that, right, guys? First of all, we don't normally clean with bleach. It does exist in some of our sites. Usually it's because of the customer, not us. In fact, I don't think we purposely house or use bleach anywhere, but it is housed sometimes at your sites and should never mix, right? Bleach and ammonia. It's a deadly gas that comes from that. But never mix chemicals. Keep containers labeled and closed. So all your bottles you clean with should always have a label. And if they don't, make sure you talk to your account manager right away. You don't want to be using any kind of bottle like that that's not labeled. Store away from heat and food areas. So you don't want to have chemicals right where you're going to be eating your lunch. And you want to make sure that you're not putting this right next to an open flame, especially with the flammable symbol, right? And hazard identification number 1. So these are important things that you can check and see in number 7. And then number 4, personal protective equipment. This is important, isn't it? If I'm using this chemical, what should I be doing to protect myself? And every chemical in their SDS has what you should and need wear. Now, we're also instructing to you what you need to wear by way of gloves, eye protection. Sometimes, we don't really use masks like that, but there could be a chemical where that should be used. Sometimes you should be wearing a chemical apron if you're mixing certain kind of things, or pouring certain kind of chemicals and that sort of thing. But that's found in section number 8, where you should wear required gloves. And sometimes it's a certain kind of glove, not just the normal, vinyl gloves that we wear. Sometimes you need heavier rubber gloves or nitrile gloves. Use eye protection, splashing as possible. Sometimes you can wear just the glasses. Other times you should wear goggles, right? Because of a splash possibility with a particular chemical. And then follow ventilation instructions. So we do work with some chemicals, especially in our JSP department with stripping, waxing, that kind of thing, right? Where the fumes and that sort of thing can be an issue. You got to make sure there's ventilation. Lastly, spills and emergencies. This is sections 5 and 6. And so again, you can go to these, every one of the SDSs has every one of these sections and has information in there about it. Spills and emergencies in particular, do not touch spills with bare hands, as an example. Ventilate the area, notify your supervisor immediately, know if the product is flammable. And we would oftentimes be involved, depending on what kind of a spill this is. We might be involved in mitigating this. There may be even another type of company that would come in with a cleanup of this type of thing. But anyway, these are some of the most important sections that you should be aware of. In particular, look at the bottom here, know the hazard, wear the PPE, and know what to do if exposed. Right? These are really the key elements whenever we work with chemicals. And chemicals are very important. Every one of us are working with chemicals every day. So be careful out there. We want you to go home the same way you came, safe, right? We want you intact. And we don't want you to get hurt. And we certainly don't want you to bring anything back to your loved ones and your family. So be careful with the chemicals you use. And sometimes we don't think much about it. But the reality of it is our chemicals can hurt other people. They can hurt you. They can hurt our customer surfaces if we use the wrong ones. One of our sites we've just started has a specific stone, a very expensive stone lobby. And you discovered by working with this that you cannot mop it with peroxy. And that's a normal chemical that we scrub with. Matter of fact, on that site, we scrub other areas with that. But all the employees need to know that, right? It can actually damage that floor. And I'm not sure Populous has a large enough insurance policy to recover that floor. What do you think, Mike? Could we replace that floor if we ruined it? I don't think so. I don't know. It would challenge the budget for sure, right? So know your chemicals, know the hazard, wear the PPE, know what to do if exposed. Awesome. Great messages, and we're going to move to the helpful cleaning tip attraction tidbit, which all of you are experiencing right now. Listen up. Ashley, take it away.
Thanks, Steve. I know I feel more confident navigating SDS now. So mopping, again, like Steve said, we're all doing a lot of this right now. So we're just going to talk about some helpful tips and important things to remember when we are mopping at our sites. So using wet floor signs, super important. Some key tips here: always place the wet floor signs at every possible entrance into the area you are mopping before the floor is wet. When you're mopping and when mopping is complete and the floor is dry, remove all those signs from the floor. One of the dangers of leaving those lie when the floor is dry is people become less sensitive to the warning of the wet floor sign. Right. Another helpful tip here, especially this time of year. I know lots of entranceways and walk-off matting are saturated right now. So using a blower fan, it's just a very powerful fan. It can help dry those areas more quickly, and it can improve our cleaning efforts. So improving safety and improving the efficiency of our clean. And of course, always be safe and clean in a safe way. So getting into some of our mopping methods, there's a few different ways to tackle mopping a floor. You have damp mopping, wet mopping, and slop mopping, and I'll explain some of the differences in the next slide. So damp mopping, as you can see here, uses very little water. This is going to be a lot of times what happens on our day shifts. We don't want to heavily saturate the floors when people may or may not be walking in that area. This is going to be used for, cleaning up spills, spot mopping, things like that. On our next slide here, wet mopping. This is what a lot of you will commonly mop. The procedure you'll use to mop. So wet mopping places, a little bit more water on the floor, which also removes a little bit more soil load from the floor, but it will take a little bit longer to dry. You can see kind of the results in the picture on the right there, what it looks like when it is dry compared to that salt residue. Slop mopping. So this is going to be most effective when you're dealing with a high soil load, such as a heavy salt, residue, mud, or grease. So slop mopping, is a procedure that your account manager can train you on, so you are doing it the correct way. But it involves really placing a lot of water on the floor, and then wringing that mop back out, and then going over the water again to pick it back up with a less saturated mop. And you can see some of the results on the right again compared to the salt residue on that floor, what a slop mop will do for you.
Actually, would you say like between the wet mop and the slop mop, it depends on, the wet mop, you're still wringing it out a little bit before you hit the floor, but the slop mop, you're almost taking it right from the bucket to the floor. Does that sound about right?
That's right. With a wet mop, you may get 1, 2, 3, 4 drips off of your mop, but with a slop mop, you're going to have almost a steady drip, if not, a slow stream running off that mop. So this is just a comparison for you to see what a damp mop, a wet mop, and a slop mop do to the floor, what kind of results they produce. So same floor, different techniques, and you can just see, the difference. The damp mop didn't remove much. The wet mop did a pretty good job, but there's still some residue there. The slop mop, there's no residue left where that floor was mopped. Salt. I heard, I think James mentioned it earlier. We're dealing with salt right now, and that is something we can all sympathize with and relate to. So these are just some pictures of what you may be dealing with right now. Streaking, haziness, not being able to get that removed effectively sometimes. So we'll talk about what we can do to help with that in our next slide. Here's some tips for removing salt residue. There's a few things that you can do. Using the right water temperature is one of those things. So cold water is actually most effective in conjunction with using the proper chemicals, which can sometimes be counter to how we think. I know I certainly grew up thinking that hot water was best, but cold water will actually combat salt more effectively. And
What's going on there? Because hot water, I think it dissolves it on some level, so we think maybe it's cleaning up better. But what's the difference there?
Yeah, so what happens when you use hot water is it does dissolve it, but it doesn't actually suspend and neutralize that salt residue. So when you're mopping, as the hot water is drying, that salt is just recrystallizing onto the floor, leaving those streaks, right? Those hazing, those things. Yes. So cold water will help with that. Using the correct mopping method, we talked about wet mopping, slop mopping, damp mopping. Using the right method is going to help combat that salt residue. Using the right chemical. So soaps, neutral cleaners, degreasers, those are common chemicals that we all use to service our floors with. These are actually ineffective as these chemicals do not emulsify salt, which again can lead to that recrystallization, which is why sometimes when we're mopping with an Excellente or a Simple Green, any of our standard chemicals, you may not be cutting through that salt. You may have experienced that. Plain water is ineffective as it allows the salt again to recrystallize on the floor, resulting in a streaky and hazy appearance. So pictured on the right here, you'll see what we call DIBS tablets and Concept 915. So these two chemicals are designed specifically to neutralize and remove the salt from the floor. So they do this in a few different ways, but to recap it, they're neutralizing, they're dissolving, they're suspending, and then they're removing all of the salt residue.
And this is, we support both of these, right?
Yes.
In our company. And so we're not adding this to Excellente. Are we just adding this to water?
That's right.
Okay.
That's correct.
So, question for the 915 there for the salt. So is that like is there like a certain amount of water that we're supposed to be putting in the buckets? Because sometimes I see that it gets sticky kind of on the floors.
That's a very good question, and I would read the back of that package to see exactly what the mixture ratio is that they recommend for that.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you for your question. All right, mop and mop bucket reminders. Ensure the mop and bucket are in good working condition and do not need cleaning, repair, or replacement. We're going to change the mop heads out. We're going to clean the water in the bucket often when soiled. So if you're noticing you're mopping and your water is dark and dingy, it's time to change that water. And that will help you, again, just combat what you're dealing with right now and just overall to properly mop a floor.
Actually, as a reminder on this, I mean, when you would normally like dump it once, you may have to dump it 5 times. I mean,
That's right.
When it gets this soiled right now, it's going to escalate.
That's right. That's right. We've got a site specifically that you can mop maybe a 6-foot section of floor, and you've got to change that mop water out because it is just so heavily soiled right now. So if you need some help in, differentiating what's clean and what's not when you should or should not be dumping, see your account manager. They'll be able to help specify those things for you. Another thing we want to avoid is leaving full mop buckets unattended. We shouldn't leave these in halls. We shouldn't leave these in restrooms. We shouldn't leave them in janitor closets overnight. Always make sure that your mop buckets are, if there's water in them, store them properly, store them safely, and don't leave them full overnight. And lastly, we're always going to dump and rinse our mop bucket out after each use, and rinse your mop with clean water to hang and prop and dry that mop. So here's just
Should
ahead,
not
Steve.
look like this. Should not look like this.
This is just a quick pop quiz. What's wrong here? And you can see
right.
several things here. So, in all of these images, you can see that the water is just too dirty to be doing anything with at this point. It should be changed well before that. Setting your mop on the floor to dry. Also things we want to avoid, and just the condition of some of these mop buckets. If your mop bucket looks like the one in the bottom here, you see your account manager and we'll see what we can do for that mop bucket.
Just before we finish up, I know we're getting close. Looks like he put in here 1 pack for every 3 to 4 gallons. So thank you, Juan, for looking that up.
Thanks, Juan.
Awesome.
And then we've got just another reminder: rinse, wring, and hang your mop to dry. Rinsing your mop head out will go a long way for you too, as you begin to start service the next night, or even move on to a next area that you're looking to service.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. Great instructions there.
So I'm going to start our HR corner off with announcing our top refer for 2025. This year, it actually was a tie between Jody Moulter and Kimberly Walker. Both had 2 successful referrals join the Populous team. So thank you, Jody and Kimberly. Did you know that employee referrals are one of the most effective ways to attract top talent at Populous? It's because you understand what it takes to succeed here, and your recommendations help us identify individuals who not only work hard, but also raise the bar for the entire team and contribute to our long-term success. So if you know somebody who aligns with our culture, our values, and our performance expectations, please encourage them to apply to any open position, and make sure that you submit a referral form so that you get the bonus. The employee referral form can be found in eHub under the links section. You'll receive $250 for each successful full-time hire and $150 for each successful part-time hire. So now is your opportunity to earn the title for the top referrer of 2026. I'll be excited to see who takes the lead. Back to you, Steve.
Hey, Steve, I just want to, so quick shout out to Peyton before we move on. Peyton is the quarterback behind this call every
Right.
single quarter, and she is very diligent about making us all get our stuff together and the details into her so that this call comes off successfully. So thank you, Peyton.
Thanks.
All right. Well, time to share my screen here and get the drawing going. Can everybody see this?
Yes,
sir.
yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
Looks good.
All right. Here we go. If you are a manager, you will not be on it. What are the gifts? What are the incentives? 3 $50 Visa gift cards that will be sent via your email tomorrow, Friday. All right,
Check
here we
your
go.
junk, man. Check your junk. Don't lose it.
Who do we got first? All right.
Stasia.
Congratulations. As Tazaya. I hope I said that right. Excellent.
Stasia.
Stasia. I apologize.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Congratulations. We'll be getting
Congrats.
offline next.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Joe, congratulations.
Wow, great.
Last but definitely not least, here we go. Wheel of Fortune. Tamika, congratulations.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Did you say Tamika Robinson?
Yes,
we did.
Oh,
Yes,
hi.
we did.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Congrats. Congrats.
Steve Freeze.
Steve, you sound distant. We just want to thank everybody for coming on. We'll see you in 3 months.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.